This is the CiMPLE Journey, how someone with no experience gets to CiMPLE, and we have covered all of these videos already. We are now on tools, and specifically InstaDapp, because CiMPLE is built on top of InstaDapp. So let's cover what InstaDapp is real quick. So, building DeFi infrastructure, the world's most advanced platform to start leveraging the full potential of decentralized finance. So we'll get into what that means a little bit. First of all, they have about $7 billion, I'm rounding up a little bit, in total value locked. And I want to point out that cryptocurrency prices are down by about 50%, and this was $13 billion not that long ago. So it's probably, for the most part, it's the same assets, just valued at a lower value now. And so what is InstaDapp? Well, they created these things called smart accounts, right? So you pay a gas fee to create this account that sort of acts like a wallet, right? So you've got your wallet that's MetaMask, and then you get a wallet that is the smart account. Once you have this smart account, you control it, by the way, right? So your assets go into MetaMask, the assets from there go into the DeFi smart account, and then you control the DeFi smart account through code. And we're gonna get into that in a second. But the big thing is it's 100% trustless. You are never giving your assets to InstaDapp or to CiMPLE or to anything else, right? You are giving it to your own smart account that you own and no one else can control. Unless you give them permission to control, there's ways to do that. But unless you specifically give permission, then nobody can control it except for you. It's 100% trustless, you own it, everything. But here's the most important and most valuable thing about InstaDapp, right? Just think about the name InstaDapp, instantly create a dApp, distributed application, right? It's designed for developers to build extensible use cases and models with maximum security. This is why CiMPLE is built on top of that, right? It's developer first, they're building use cases, or you could build your own use case and monetize your model, right? Using their technology, right? So you just build on top of what they built, which is why CiMPLE is built on top of what they built. Also, InstaDapp is what allowed CiMPLE to exist. InstaDapp has given CiMPLE a couple grants, but all of them combined add up to, I think it's 6,000 inst, right? So we've gotten grants, and that's been what's funded the whole development of CiMPLE. We also got a grant from Polygon. Polygon and InstaDapp have given us the resources to build this, right? So it is built on top of their technology. Now, they also built on top of their technology, right? If you notice, this doesn't say our dashboard is fantastic, look at all these things you can do with our dashboard. They're talking about the smart accounts that they built and what developers could do for those smart accounts. Notice that. Other places you can find out more information about what you can do, but when you go to this dashboard, think about this dashboard and what they built, not as here's how you do everything, but more of this is how they showcase what can be done. And this isn't showcasing everything that can be done. There's lots of things that can be done in InstaDapp that are not featured on this dashboard. This dashboard is just showing you what can be done. It is not everything. That's why they're talking about use cases and, you know, create whatever models make sense for you. That's why they gave us the grant, right? Because we are building on top of them. They're essentially paying us to build on top of them so that we can prove to the world that you can build on top of them. And so anything we do that is built on top of them benefits them. So when you go back to that total value locked, right, they will be able to say anything that is built on CiMPLE becomes their total value locked because it's in one of their DeFi smart accounts, right? And so let's walk through their dashboard a little bit, because this is how you're going to interact with some of the CiMPLE strategies for now. Eventually, it will 100% be on our interface, but for now, there are certain things you need to understand about how to use this dashboard that will allow you to do CiMPLE strategies. So the first thing is getting to Polygon. I mentioned that it would be done in this video, right? So I'm gonna go to the ETH mainnet, okay? And it's gonna reload everything. And I'm connected. See how it says connected? I wanna point out over here that it also says connected, right? So you can see that. Okay, so I connected to the ETH mainnet, and the reason for connecting to the ETH mainnet is to show you how to add Polygon. The fastest, easiest way to do it is just to go to the website, right? So you're on instadapp.io, you click the button to go to their dashboard, they bring you to this page, okay? And it will ask you to create an account, and unless you're planning on creating an account on the mainnet, you don't have to, right? So if you were to create an account, I'll just show you how that works real quick. I'm gonna hit new, and it would be the same as hitting the create account button up there if you didn't have one. Then it's going to tell you what it costs in gas, and then this is what I was talking about. You hit the edit button, you hit edit suggested gas fee, and you see right here that it says 313 Gwei. So I come back over here and I see that 161 is getting processed. So when I go over here and I see that this is 313, I say that's crazy, and I go to 161, right? And it's saying it's too low, but I'm having the data right here that the transactions are being processed at that. So I would take that data over MetaMask, and then I would do that. But I want to point out, it's $128 in order to create an account. Take that divided by 5,000, and that's roughly the cost to do it in Polygon. And you do the same thing, right? If you're looking at Polygon, I'm going to reject this, and let's go back to the dashboard, okay? And so we're going to click this, and we're going to click Polygon, okay? So once we click Polygon, what it's going to do is it's going to try to connect Polygon and say, nope, the mainnet is connected, okay? So we have to go in here, and we have to click to switch it to Polygon. Or, and this is why I said in the MetaMask video to wait to this video till you see how to do it, because you come in here, you click switch to Polygon and watch what happens. They are going to switch your network for you. You click switch network, okay? And it adds in all of the information that you need so that later you can come in here, go to the network they just added. They added Matic. I didn't have that one before. I mean, I obviously have Polygon, but they named it Matic, right? So whatever they put in there, I'm now using what they put in there. If I want to check what they put in there, the way that I would do that is I would come in here, I would go to settings, I would come down to networks, okay? Then I would find the one that they just added right there, and I would see that they put in this information, which you can pause the video and just type it in yourself, or you could do what I did over there. Now, this is what I wanted to change, and this is why I had to change it in that other video, is because explorer.matic.network, I would rather use Polygon Scan. It's just polygonscan.com. Yeah, so you would just copy this right here, okay? Then you'd go through that process again because it kicks me out whenever you do that, right? And then where that last thing was, you just paste it in there, and then it'll use that, so that it'll do slash, and then all the stuff that it needs to do, so that if you wanted to, for example, go on here, and I'll just show you, explorer.matic.network, okay? It sent me to Polygon Scan, but it didn't do in the proper link, right? So that's why I'm saying copy Polygon Scan and put it in there in the RPC channel, right? So let's go back here, okay? And we're going to go through that process, and let me just show you, click new. If you have no accounts, then you would just click create account, and it's the same thing as me clicking new right here. So I click new, brings it up here what it would cost to create a new account. I go into edit gas fee, and I see that the max fee is 2.5, and I know that will never be processed because 30 is the minimum. So I would go to Polygon Scan, see what that is, and type in what I need to in order for it to go through. However, this is not a transaction where time is of the essence. So 30 is the minimum for Polygon, but if the current gas was, let's say, 60, and you didn't want to pay 60, you could put in 30 and then just wait till whenever it goes through. I showed you that example, how eventually it'll go through, right? And so this is how you would adjust that. That's how you would create an account. Once you create the account, let's go through this a little bit. So let's go into the account details. You'd go in here to deposit, and from there, let me just come in here and reject this real quick. So I'm going to reject this. That's another way. Like, it opened in a separate page, but this is where I was telling you to add it up here, right? So when you go to deposit, what it's doing is it's looking through your balance in here. When you go to assets, it's going to match. You have assets and you're not seeing them, doesn't mean that they disappeared. It just means you need to import the token in order to see them, right? Okay, so I would deposit through here. So if it's ETH, I'd click deposit, right? And then you select the amount to deposit, and you would do that. Then you would come into manage, which, by the way, this is using Aave, right? This little symbol is Aave, right? So clicking manage, it tells you right here it's Aave, Polygon's connected, all the stuff is good, okay? Then you would go into ETH, so this is just a demo account. You'd go into here, you'd click supply, put the tokens in there, right? So you would have tokens in your balance right here. It's taking it from MetaMask, depositing it into InstaDapp, then taking from InstaDapp and putting that into Aave from the InstaDapp account, right? And that is what allows us to do all of the stuff that you see in the simple strategies, and I go into what those strategies are, but this is the mechanics of how you use InstaDapp in order to do everything. So let's just cover a couple things that you would do, right? So one thing that you would do is called leverage, okay? And this is for strategy number one. You would put ETH as the collateral, and the debt, you would either choose DAI or USDC. Then you put in the amount of DAI that it tells you on the coin calculator. We're going to get to that next. But the amount that it tells you, you put in here, and then it would borrow DAI as debt and supply it as ETH collateral, because it will swap it in the middle, right? So it's borrowing DAI as debt, swapping for ETH, depositing ETH as collateral, right? So you would do that for buying. You would come in to save, in order to sell effectively, right? So your current collateral is ETH, the debt is DAI, and so you put in the amount of ETH that the coin calculator tells you to sell in order to pay down the debt, right? Because withdrawing ETH as collateral, swapping that ETH with DAI, paying back DAI as the debt. DAI is a stable coin, and we have another video talking about what DAI is, and so you should watch that one. But it's a stable coin, it's always worth $1. That's the bottom line, that's the thing that makes sense right now. And the thing that makes it that way is basically the rules of Ethereum that have those smart contracts. There are certain if this then that rules that keep it pegged to $1. That's for another video to explain the details, but that's basically what's happening. Same thing with USDC. They have similar rules to keep them pegged to that, including the fact that they have reserves, right? So they have reserve assets to match. One other thing you would do, which by the way, if you're maximizing or decreasing yield, this is also the way you would do it. You would just put in DAI as both, right? So you're borrowing and resupplying. Or you'd put in USDC for both, borrowing and resupplying. And then the same thing, if you change it to save, it would be the same thing, but in reverse, right? So it's increasing, decreasing yield. The reason why you'd want to do that's in a different video, but this is how you do it on InstaDapp. And next is going to be how we use the CiMPLE prototype to do some of these things on its user interface. So like the video, subscribe to get future content, and please comment below if any of this didn't make sense or you think we could do better, then comment below and we will pre-address that in the next version of this video. Thank you.